All right, they said the housing market was going to crash. They said that people were not going to be able to afford houses. They said that the economy was going to crash and all of these problems were going to happen. And we just see that inflation is up. But if you know what inflation is all about, you can't have inflation unless companies raise their prices. Companies make their own decision on raising their prices. And also, the demand is there. The demand is there, and people are buying, they're spending money on stuff. So you better get used to it. You better get into the mindset of making more money, and we will talk about that later in the video. Going to talk about how you, if you have a business, how you can increase qualified leads and turn those qualified leads into sales using the art of selling without selling. Like Bruce Lee said, the art of fighting without fighting. And I teach people the art of selling without selling, where people will just want to give you their money in exchange because of the value that you're going to bring to them. So, but first, let's talk about this housing market, because this is big. A lot of people were paralyzed with their decision making because interest rates were sky high. They was talking about it was going to be this big crash in the market. And all of these people, all these real estate gurus and all of them, they were talking the game that they saw on the news, but they were going behind your back, buying up commercial property and buying up residential real estate, buying up apartments. See, they tell you this stuff so they can take away competition. Let me tell you something with some business people. I'm not like this. I think that I'm in charge of what happens with me and my businesses. That as long as I do what I am supposed to do, there's always going to be some type of space that or carve out of the market that I'm going to be able to generate for my companies. But for some reason, when people get way, way, way at the top, they don't like competition. And they figure out ways to use the news and use social media and all of these different things to tell people not to do stuff because they want to go and grab all of the pie. They don't even want to give you a piece of the pie. I remember Grant Cardone. He had a video where he told people not to buy a house. He said that you would be a fool to buy a residential property. And he had all of his reasoning. He threw in the interest rates because that's easy because you don't even have to think about it because you see that on the news all the time. Then he was talking about that you don't make enough back in your investment. And then I was like, this guy is crazy. He must be trying to go out there with some type of big hedge fund and just gobble up all of the properties and then rent them out to people. In my daughter's, son-in-law and daughter's neighborhood, all of these, they bought property. They're in their 30s. This is their second property that they purchased. Property was about $300,000. You know, those properties over the last few years are in value are upwards of $500,000. So for someone to move into their same neighborhood, they're going to have to pay $500,000 and people are lining up. Yeah, now there's not 40 people lining up to buy the same property, but you only need one family. See, they don't, they throw your mind off on all of these other things when you only need one family. Only one family is going to buy the house and live in the house. So before we get to our lesson on generating more qualified leads and turning those qualified leads into customers or qualified potential customers into sales using the art of selling without selling, let me talk about some other benefits on home ownership. Home ownership, number one, if we just look at not having a landlord looking over your shoulder, not have to ask permission to do anything. My wife we moved to a new property because we're out of the city now, and she's doing all of this work. Like she spent, a lot, but you don't got to ask anyone's permission. You can do it exactly the way you want to do it. And I remember when we had our previous home built, which when we bought that house, people were trying to talk us out of buying that house because we paid $100,000 more than what other people had paid to get into the neighborhood. It was all new builds. And we were like, let's just get the house. Even if we just get it and we pay it off, it's like a savings account. And during that time, and we bought that house in 2004, and in 2008 there was an actual housing market crash, and they've already made the corrections on why there won't be the same type of crash again, unless people just don't want to pay their mortgages and stuff. But the reason why there was a crash back in 2008 is because they were giving people loans where they didn't even show taxes, they were just stating their income. That stuff, you can't do that now. They look all over you. One of my employees just purchased a house, and she got her W-2s and everything. I had to, give her some stuff because I don't know, she didn't keep it. And they were asking me questions about the business, like how do you get customers? So they're even going further into not just taking the word of the individual, even though they got taxes and they transcripts from the IRS and W-2s and payroll, all of that stuff. They still wanted to talk to the owner of the company, to ask me certain questions, and then to have a letter written for her. And I don't mind doing that. But now she's a homeowner. Now some people are talking about these interest rates sky high. They're sky high. But guess what? If you get used to paying at this rate, what do you think is going to happen when they lower the interest rates? And you can go and get a rate and term refinance where you don't add on any years. You just get a rate and term refinance. You're going to have money in your pocket instantly. Your mortgage that you used to pay $2,000 or $2,500 for is going to go down to $1,000. They are just fooling the hell out of people. And as a matter of fact, the longer that this interest rate stay up is going to make the economy boom even more when it goes down. So we already know on one side, you don't got to worry about people coming behind your back, no landlord, all that. You get to do what you want to do. It's your house, family, everybody's secure. It's yours. And then when the interest rates change over, they are gonna go down. They will not stay up. I don't know when it's gonna happen, but it's not gonna stay up. And as a matter of fact, just go look back in the past when Jimmy Carter was president. Look back in the past. The interest rates were, I think they were even higher than this right now. They're like 10%, somewhere around there. Don't quote me on it, but they were very high. And then they just, after inflation got under control, went down. And we had all of those years of prosperity. And right now, here's the crazy thing is that we have prosperity going on right now for the people who don't listen to these pundits and these news channels and people who want to make the president look bad so they could paralyze you from going forward with your life. No matter who's going to be president, you take control of your life. So if you don't have a home right now, you need to prioritize your income to save money for a down payment to get a house. There's a whole bunch of down payment assistance programs. All that. Get linked into that instead of staying linked in to the bad news that's out there. So now let's flip it on over to how to generate more qualified potential customers. I would normally say leads, but I'm going to change that around. My wife was telling me one time, she was like, why do you say leads? People don't know what a lead is. Some people know what a lead is, but most people don't identify a lead with an individual. They identify a lead as a name. So I want to name it more qualified potential customers. And we're going to turn those qualified potential customers into sales. Now, there is a process to do that. It is not where someone comes into your store or someone goes to your website or someone sees your product or service and they automatically become a customer. And this is what the gurus don't tell you. This is what the gurus, am I even saying it right? They just don't tell you. See, this is the part that people forget about. But it's right there, the secret's right there in front of all of our faces. And if you look at this and you pay attention to it, you will see that, number one, all of those gurus, some of them don't know what they're doing. They just know how to sell, I always say books and tapes, but really, we're in the online online world where they're just MP3 videos and ebooks. But it was the same way back when I was growing up. They just had books and tapes. And not to say that all the information is bad. Some information that's out there is very good. Some information is recycled. For me, I just like being straight up, because this is what's gonna really get you to where you want to be. Like I call it like the straight arrow theory. Like, you don't want an arrow to be like going like this. You want to, like, if you want to get to making more money, you want to like get there the fastest. And when I look back at the things that I've done, and I would you know, like, wonder, like, why was this opportunity failing and then other opportunities were succeeding? And something that I had saw when I kept writing down what I was doing, because I was trying to find what was the problem in what I was doing. And what I had found is that the more you don't know and understand about what you're doing, the more you're going to be like this, where you're going up and down, even though business is up and down. But what I'm talking about is the up and down about trying to figure out all these different things that can work when you test things. And once you find something that works, you keep doing that thing. Because I had caught myself where I got some stuff working, and then all of a sudden I'm sitting there trying to figure out something else, when all I have to do is do the same thing. Maybe I make a variation with the what I would utilize to bring in more qualified leads, qualified potential customers, and then push that out. Because when we always try to make things a lot easier when we're running our business, like, but there's some things that you need to like leave alone. And one of the things that you need to leave alone is you need to consistently advertise your business. And not to just advertise your business just to be blowing your name out there. There needs to be a point. There needs to be an end result of what you're trying to achieve from that advertisement, so you will know that it's paying off for you. Some of the times you may advertise just so people know about you in the market. Sometimes you may advertise just to introduce something. Whenever I advertise, this is to generate more qualified potential customers. And I want to have those qualified potential customers give us their information so we can follow up with them, so I can track what happened. So I can be with my sales team, we can look at the numbers, look at our shopping carts, look at the ones that were abandoned so we can ask them questions, look at our shopping cart for to see how many transactions went through, new customers, and look at our links to see how many people went to the link to look at it and they didn't even fill out a shopping cart. Like, I want to know all of that data, because if I know that, like, just knowing that people were interested in what we had to offer and what they could potentially be thinking on why they did not go through with an order, and we definitely call them. Not to say that you have to do it, or maybe your business isn't the type that would allow that type of process, but you can always try to figure out ways to get more people to see what you had to offer that could be more qualified. Even if you have a store. Like, I've had this question before, where what if I have a store? What if I have a takeout food place? You can still generate leads. You don't need to generate all of the data that you would have to generate, but you would want to figure out a way to know that people are interested in coming to see what you had to offer. And let's just say that you don't generate any type of potential customer data from your ads. You just send people to your store. You still would know, because of what you put in the ad. It's not an ad for your entire store. It's an ad for specific products that you have available in the store, so you can gauge if something is working. Now, what some people will sometimes do is they will blame the customer instead of blaming themselves. Don't never blame your customers. I know it's easy. We've all done it, but don't blame your customers, because then you take away your power for you to be able to bring in customers. It gets you off balance, and it makes you start to think about other things to try to bring in customers when you probably know a way to bring in customers, especially if you're an established company. Whatever way you're bringing in customers is, you need to figure out a way to use that same system online to bring you more customers, to bring you more qualified potential customers. That's what you need to do. You need to figure out a process to be able to do that. If you don't, it's going to make it very difficult for you, because you're going to be the one that's always out there trying to generate business. Like, you're going to have to, you're going to be that person that has to do that, and it's going to make you get very tired and frustrated with your business. So let's talk about what we got to do first. Step one to getting more qualified potential customers is to run ads to get qualified potential customers. So if we know how to run ads, if we know that there's a simple and easy formula that will work for any type of business to make ads that will generate qualified potential customers, you're already like got a check mark. You got a check on your box. You got that box checked, because you know now that you have a way, no matter what you're doing with your business, no matter what you're offering with your business, that you have a system that will be able to bring you, be able to advertise. So whatever ads you want to create, you would have a system that would be able to bring in qualified potential customers. And then in the middle of that, if you can imagine this, or please imagine this, in the middle of that, so you have your ads that's generating qualified potential customers, and you put that together the right way, it's going to bring you qualified potential customers. And for this example, we'll just say that you're generating, you want to generate data, and that data is name, email, phone number. For, let's just say that you have a service that you're advertising in your ad. So you're getting that data, name, email, phone number. They're raising their hand. Hey, I'm serious about at least learning more about what you had to offer. So that's a qualified potential customer. Wouldn't you think that a qualified potential customer would be someone who like raised their hand, hey, I'm interested? If you have a store, they come into the store to look at what you had to offer. But for this example, they're raising their hand. I'm interested in what you had to offer. They went an extra step. They gave you their info. It's like, hey, we don't want to just pass out our phone number to anyone. We don't want to pass out our email address to anyone. We definitely don't want to pass out our name to just anyone. So they're like a qualified potential customer. Now, the next step that you got to go through first, before you actually start making sales, even though this is done all in conjunction, but there's a step-by-step process, we're going to slow it down some, is that you need to nurture those qualified potential customers, because no one is out there really trying to buy what you had to offer, but they're not trying to be sold. They want to know what you have because they have a level of interest, but they're not trying to be talked into anything. So nurturing your qualified potential customers is by demonstrating how the experience of doing business with you. Like, think about it. If someone, let's just say that you have I always say auto repair. Let's just say that you're an insurance agent, and someone sees your ad for life insurance. Let's just say term life insurance. They fill out the form to get information about term life insurance. If you think about it, in the middle, this is where I call it, number one, it's your playground. You've brought the qualified potential customer into your playground. They're off the platform into your playground. Now you use and there's apps that are autoresponders where you can email back to them, you can text back to them, you can even send AI messages back to them. You can have your AI communicating back and forth with them, or you can have live chat. We're not going to go into too much detail about that, but those are just some of the options that you would have to be able to nurture your qualified potential customers. And what you're doing during this process, and this gets into the art of selling without selling, is that you're showing them what you've done for your clients before. letting them know about your company, and you're demonstrating. So depending on your type of business, you're going to either utilize images to show what you've done, you're going to video to demonstrate, reviews, anything that you can utilize to demonstrate that you're going to come through for the product or service that you're offering. Now, this is one reason why this is very, 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 very important, because there's competition out there. And they're gonna, when no one gets the experience unless they're buying an outright product from you. They don't get the experience how it's gonna feel to do business with you until they actually become a customer with some businesses. So you have to give them by demonstrating that feeling, like, hey, if I give this person my money, this is what's going to happen. As a matter of fact, in some of my videos, what I've done is I've actually put a video in there saying, once you give us your money, this is what's going to happen. Because we don't want them to have any type of buyer's remorse or nothing like that. So I tell them straight up before they give us their money, we're going to do this, 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 and this. And you, depending on your business, you could do that. Now, for the example of the insurance agent, just think about it. You got other agents that are competing against you. You got websites that are competing against you where they don't even want to have agents really involved, or you're getting leads and then you're sitting there chasing leads that other people are chasing. This is where you're going to have leads that are specifically going to you for your business. They get to see you. They're branded for your business, and it's going to make your conversations a lot better. Trust me, it's going to make them a lot better. And I call this the art of selling without selling, because they're going to learn about you from the demonstrations of what you've done. And all you have to do is just close it out by, if you have to, for insurance, you got to call them up and finish up the sale. Or if you have a website where you can sell products like I do on my website, they just look at the rest of the information and they end up just filling out the shopping cart and ordering. It could be that easy. Now, if you want to learn more about how you can generate, number one, how you can create an easy way to create simple, easy, and fast, effective ads that can work on any of the platforms, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. If you want to learn how to nurture your potential qualified customers, and if you want to learn how to use the art of selling without selling, there's a link below this video or above this video where you can look at a program that I offer that will show you exactly how to do it. I call it, it's my 10X program. It's a simple, easy, and effective way to generate more qualified potential customers and turn those qualified potential customers into sales, no matter what type of business that you have. So there's a link either below this video or above this video. Also, put your comments and questions here in this video. Thank you for your time. This is Stephen A. Williams with Making Money with Stephen A. Williams on YouTube.